Most people think the barriers holding them back are out there in the world, the economy, their circumstances, other people. But if we're honest, the strongest barriers are the ones we carry inside. They're built from old fears, past disappointments, and stories we've repeated so often that they feel like facts. And here's the truth. A belief is just a thought you've practiced. If you practice limitation, you can practice possibility. I want you to notice how often your mind tries to protect you by playing small. It whispers, what if you fail? What if you're not ready? But those questions aren't warnings. Invitations. They're signals pointing directly at the edge of your growth. Every time you challenge one of those inner limits, you expand your capacity. You teach your nervous system that discomfort is not danger. It's progress. Think about the promises you made to yourself when no one was watching. The goals that excited you. The life you imagined. Imagine. Those promises didn't disappear. They're waiting on the other side of the barriers you've accepted as permanent. When you start questioning those limits instead of obeying them, something shifts. You stop reacting to life and start designing it. This isn't about pretending fear doesn't exist. It's about deciding that your vision matters more than your hesitation. When you shine a light on your invisible barriers, they lose their power. You realize they were never solid walls, just shadows shaped by habit. And the moment you step through them, you reclaim energy, clarity, and momentum that were always yours now once you start seeing those invisible barriers for what they are. The next step is deeply personal. It's about the promises you've made to yourself. Not the ones you announced to the world, but the quiet commitments you whispered in moments of clarity. The decision to get healthier, to build something meaningful, to become more than you were yesterday. Every time you break one of those promises, even in a small way, you teach yourself that your word is flexible. And when your word to yourself is weak, your confidence can never be strong, but the opposite is just as true. Each time you keep a promise to yourself, you deposit trust into your own identity. It doesn't have to start big. In fact, it shouldn't. It starts with the daily choices that seem insignificant. Showing up when it's inconvenient, finishing what you begin, doing the work when motivation is quiet. These moments are where self-respect is built, and self-respect is the foundation of momentum, you see? Success is not created in giant leaps. It's forged in consistent integrity with your own standards. When you honor your commitments, you send a clear message to your mind and body. I am someone who follows through. That identity changes how you walk, how you speak, and how you approach every challenge. Suddenly, barriers look smaller, and opportunities look closer. This is about aligning your actions with the future you say you want. When your behavior matches your vision, energy flows. You stop negotiating with excuses and start negotiating with possibilities. And as that alignment strengthens, so does your ability to step into discomfort, grow, and evolve into the person your goals require. Keep your word to yourself, and you become unstoppable once you start honoring your promises to yourself. Something powerful happens. You begin taking bigger actions. And with bigger actions comes something most people try to avoid: failure. But failure is not the enemy here. Misunderstanding failures. Too many people treat a setback like a verdict on their worth, when in reality, it's just feedback on their strategy. It's information. And information, if you use it, is power. Every result you get is a message telling you what works and what doesn't. When something doesn't go your way, your job isn't to shrink back. It's to get curious. Ask better questions. What can this teach me? What needs to change? That mindset turns every stumble into a stepping stone. Instead of draining your energy, failure starts fueling your growth. Think about any skill you admire. Mastery is never built on a straight line of success. It's built on cycles of attempt, adjustment, and improvement, and improvement. The people who reach their next level aren't the ones who avoid mistakes. The ones who use mistakes as raw material. They collect feedback relentlessly and refine their approach with precision. This is where resilience is born. Each time you respond to failure with learning instead of judgment, you strengthen your emotional muscle. You prove to yourself that discomfort is survivable and progress is repeatable. And that confidence carries forward into every new challenge you face when you reframe failure as feedback. You remove the fear that keeps most people stuck. You create a safe space inside yourself to experiment, to stretch, and to evolve. And that freedom accelerates everything. Your discipline sharpens, your courage expands, and your identity shifts toward growth. Use every setback as a setup for your next breakthrough. When you start using feedback instead of fearing it, you naturally see the value of structure. A lot of people hear the word discipline and think restriction, pressure, or punishment. Real discipline is not about shrinking your life. It's about expanding it. It's the system that carries you forward on the days when motivation is quiet. Because motivation will rise and fall, but discipline creates stability. And stability is what turns vision into reality. Freedom isn't the absence of structure. It's the result of it. The habits you build each day are either constructing a bridge to your next level or reinforcing the barriers you're trying to break. When you choose to show up consistently, even in simple ways, you build momentum that compounds over time. Think about how empowering it feels to trust your own routines. When your daily actions are aligned with your goals, you waste less energy on decision-making and more energy on execution. Oh! Discipline simplifies your life. It removes the constant negotiation with excuses and replaces it with clarity. You know what needs to be done, and you do it. That consistency creates confidence, and confidence feels bigger. Bolder action. This isn't about perfection. It's about commitment. There will be days when you stumble, but discipline means you return to your path quickly and without drama. Each return strengthens your resilience and sharpens your focus. Over time, what once felt difficult becomes automatic, and what once felt impossible becomes achievable when your habits support your freedom. Progress stops being accidental and starts being inevitable. Build disciplined actions today, and you design the life you want to live. Tomorrow growth doesn't happen inside your comfort zone. Every person who's ever achieved something extraordinary knows this truth. Your next level lives on the edge of discomfort. The mind wants safety. It wants the familiar. It whispers, stay here. It's easier. But if you listen to that voice, you stay small, you settle, and you trade potential for ease. Real transformation begins when you choose to step toward what scares you, when you walk into situations that challenge your assumptions, test your courage, and stretch your limits. Discomfort is not punishment. It's a signal that you're moving in the right direction. That tension you feel in a new situation, that hesitation before making a bold decision, those are the indicators that growth is happening. Every time you face that tension, you train yourself to expand your capacity to tolerate uncertainty and act anyway. Courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is action in spite of fear. Repeat it until it becomes habit. The difference between those who reach their potential and those who don't isn't luck. It's willingness. Willingness to face rejection, to fail publicly, to risk judgment for the sake of your own evolution. Every step you take into discomfort is a vote for yourself. You're proving over and over that you value your growth more than your comfort. And here's the beautiful part. The more you lean into discomfort, the smaller it feels and the bigger your world becomes. Opportunities that once seemed intimidating now feel possible. Challenges that once paralyzed you now fuel you. Step into discomfort with intention, and you will discover strength you didn't know existed by now. You've faced the invisible barriers, honored your promises, learned from failure, built disciplined habits, and stepped into discomfort. But all of that will only take you so far if you don't focus on who you are becoming in the process. Success isn't just about hitting goals or checking boxes. It's about evolving into the kind of person who can sustain that success. Your actions shape your identity, and your identity shapes the results you attract. Every choice you make, every habit you reinforce is sending a message to yourself. Who am I becoming? If you want to reach your next level, you have to become the person your goals demand. That doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen passively. It happens through intention, through consistently showing up, and through modeling the behaviors of the person you want to be. It's about integrity, courage, and persistence. Think about it this way. If your goals are like a destination, your identity is the vehicle. A rusty, unreliable car won't get you there, no matter how clear the map is. You have to build yourself from the inside out, strengthening your mindset, emotional resilience, and habits, so you can handle the challenges that come with success. Every action you take toward growth fuels this transformation. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, step into discomfort, or learn from failure, you reinforce that identity. When you become the person your goals require, the world aligns with your momentum. Doors open, opportunities appear, and challenges feel like invitations. You stop chasing results and start creating them. Become the person your next level demands. And nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop you.